I feel like that's not like that. Maybe South Africa, but the Middle Africa, North Africa, it's not really like that. South Africa, but the Middle Africa, North Africa, it's not really like that.
Ah, yes, the Middle Africa. You know, home to the giraffe. The giraffe, a redacted creature that often wogs up to drugs. Come on, folks. Middle Africa, a small town in Cameroon, where former UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou was born. It was named after the famous fighter John Africa. I'm not talking about the state. I'm talking about the country, man. All right. Enough of that. Brendan Schaub in the latest episode of The Fighter and the Kid. Well, he does what he does best. Yep, you got it. Lies. Lying is what Bappa does for a living. And not only does he lie, he also gets everything completely wrong. So let's go over some key moments of this redactedness, shall we? Besides lying, did you ever wonder what Brendan Schaub does for a living? Like, seriously, what is his actual job? I'm not going to define it for you. By the way, define bullying. Okay, stop. Let's have Brendan tell us what his job is, shall we?
But Max Holloway doesn't pour I don't like making predictions, especially when it's two of my favorites. But I text everyone, said Max Holloway by decision.
Okay, so I got it. Baba's job is sports commentary. Look, say what you will about Brendan, but he does seem to get most of these fights right when he chooses the winner after the fight. Given his brain power, there's still a chance he could get it wrong, but I'm sure he'd find a way to fuck it up somehow. Okay, let's get this straight. Is Schaub saying here that he didn't go on the record to make a prediction before the fight because he likes both of the fighters, but somehow he accurately predicted Max Holloway would win by decision over Dustin Poirier? Yet before the fight, he texted all of his friends his prediction? Yeah, that makes sense. Bappa, who cares about your prediction? Well, let's be fair now. The theoretical, non-ironic thickie might care about it, but they want it before the fight. I'm more surprised that he said all of his friends. All his friends? Cut out the plural, use the singular. Just keep in mind, folks, the added information for credibility is the most fun part of a habitual liar. I'm just more concerned that Brendan Schaub dresses like a lazy, redacted teenager. Moving right along, what we do know about Bappa is that he always has the inside scoop, especially when it pertains to a viral story. And what's Brendan Schaub without his inside scoop on the viral story of the year?
Did you see that CEO at the Coldplay concert?
Yeah.
So he had to resign, right? And he's out.
It's just so silly because
so I know buddies that work with him and around him, and they all go, "Thank God."
Really?
They go, "It's about time." Apparently, he was just a complete piece of shit, like super difficult.
He started that company.
He's been doing shady shit. And
you know what I would have
thought? They say he's impossible to work with. So when he finally resigned, they went, "Thank God," because if this didn't happen, he would have been there forever. They
were both. He trains everybody below him, like you're saying, how to behave.
Yep.
Right. It would have been awesome if they just, when they noticed that, instead of running, they just went. Because you already
gigs up.
Well, they were both separated apparently from their spouses.
No, he was married.
Yeah, but I heard that they were both separated.
I don't know.
But either way, it's like, hey, bro, you guys are like all huggy.
Look it up, Ching.
It can't be that secretive.
No, they wouldn't. If they were separated, it wouldn't be a big deal.
No. I think they were.
He was just like, right away, he's worth $10 million. He's like, oh, there's $5 million.
Yeah.
They weren't hard. They weren't separated because look at how they reacted.
They're not separated. Who told you that?
God, I forgot.
I know for a fact.
Even here.
I think they are. I think they're both.
I know
both separated. He didn't want it to be. You still don't want it because the problem is she was head of his HR department. Yeah, so that's a bad look.
Look it up, Jen. To be careful. I'm almost positive they're not separated.
Wow, just wow. Come on now, Bappa. At least make up a good story if you're going to lie poorly. Oh yeah, he was a complete piece of shit. Yeah, hard to work with. They all said thank God. First off, who the fuck is they all? Who the hell does Brenda know that works in data operations and analytics? I'll wait. Okay, that's enough time. I could see Brenda hearing a bit of gossip about a UFC guy who was big 15 years ago. I wouldn't believe it, but I would at least think it could pass as possible. Like, what is next? Schaub's gonna say he's a marine biologist, architect, and I'm not really mad. I'm glad Brendan lies. And we can sit here and fire up the grill. meal. Get them PF Chang appetizers out while getting these redacted shifts over with. But my God, who does he think believes any of this? It actually sounds very similar to what Showtime employees said about Brendan, when of course he got gadooshed from there. Schaub is so fucking redacted, and here's why. Because he's used the same goddamn lie about 4 different viral news stories over just the past 3 months. Big Brown got the big scoops, my man. Oh yes, and you gotta love Bapa's astronomy buddies. Of course he has friends that work in the field of astronomy, because in order to shoot for the moon, you gotta land on the stars, B. Talking about interstellar warp driving. But Bapa qualifies because he has a telescope in his house, and he has no idea how to use it. Me, racer. Scratch that. Me, astronomer. Brendan Schaub's buddy resigned from the FBI in disgrace post-Diddy trial, and was at his internship at Astronomer when this happened. So yes, it all makes sense now. And keep notes, whenever Bapa does the which pretty much he does every other word, oh, he's definitely not lying. No, seriously, anytime he opens his mouth, he's definitely not lying. I mean, it's ridiculous how much this guy lies. Like, all bullshit aside, Bapa is a pathological liar. But I heard it both ways, B. Let's move on to the next lie. I mean, truth. My bad. Brendan Schaub claims that his audience, whenever he performed stand-up, would demand fight breakdowns during his comedy sets. Yeah, I guarantee that did not happen, but let's go ahead and hear it.
Back to those stereotypes, like when I first started stand-up comedy, I remember it used to hurt my feelings so bad because everyone knows me as this one thing. I'm like, yes, I did that, but I'm trying to do this. I'd be in the middle of my set and people would shout out, break down UFC. I'm like, man, come on, man. You hurt my feelings so bad for a long time.
You took direction very well, you know.
But you're talking years. I dealt with that for like 5 or 6 years. It wasn't until like the latter of my career, like the last 4 years, where it finally people stopped doing that.
You know, come to think of it, I think Brendan forgot to preface it with people were so bored with my comedy set that they yelled out, break down UFC fights for us. Schaub is such a narcissistic redact. The dude thinks that people should just automatically like his comedy regardless of how blockbuster it is. And he thinks his feeling matter more than the quality of his performance. Meanwhile, he trashes people constantly for the smallest things. This is the most outrageous claim. And this is coming from someone that lies constantly for a living. Like, remember that time when it never happened? Bapa, no one believes a word you say. And since when were you a comedian for 9 or 10 years? Get out of here, man. But to be fair, again, when there are only 5 people in a room, folks feel more open to yell things out. And anytime I see a good comic, I always yell for them to read the sports page. Don't you do the same? I'm pretty sure they were yelling about a refund. And what the hell are you doing there, Bryan Callen? Why are you such a pussy to call him out? Rinks, I gotta hand it to you, man. You're a true friend. To those with special needs, of course. And we know Bryan Callen has 0 self-respect. Yup, just another unforced Bapa lie for no fucking reason. I actually know somebody that attended one of Bapa's stand-up shows at the Tampa Improv a few years back. By the way, tickets were being given away by the venue, and he only went for research purposes to do a review over on the Fighter and the Kid subreddit. Anyhow, he said the place was a quarter full and no one asked him for shit. Brendan just talked about hot men and penises for 50 minutes. And that's that. We heard the lies, and now we want to hear Brendan Schaub's misinformation. Because yes, we know Bapa is a narcissistic pathological liar. Some may throw sociopath into that mix. But here's a moment where Schaub spews misinformation about Caitlyn Clark from the WNBA. And since Bryan Callen can never call out Bapa, producer Chin corrects this misinformation by Brendan. Here it is.
Has the WNBA made money yet?
Nope. So when they wore
what we're worth,
yesterday they wear those shirts that say "Pay us what we're worth." Okay, you owe us each $40 million. We've lost $40 million every year. So if we're going to pay you for what you're worth,
up, Chin.
Look it up.
Look that up. I want to make sure that's true.
Brian, they've never made a profit.
No, they've lost money.
That's what I'm saying. So when they go pay us our,
so the NBA finances the WNBA.
Of course.
So do they hold back money? You're asking?
No, say, has the WNBA ever made a profit? And the answer is no.
What you're worth? You're worth.
All the owners should go, okay, you guys actually owe us money.
No, the WNBA never generated a profit. So what do you mean pay you what you're worth? You're not worth anything. You cost money.
The league is heavily subsidized by the NBA with annual losses estimated to be in the tens of millions.
Yeah. So
when they say pay us what we're worth.
Doesn't she know that? Caitlyn Clark, don't they know that?
Hold on. Don't drag Caitlyn Clark in this. She
awesome.
wasn't there.
She wasn't.
She didn't take part of it.
Love her.
And the other woke bitches like Kelsey Plum were like, oh, everyone was there. We're all in solidarity. But Caitlyn Clark wasn't represented there.
Because she knows that she's the only, probably one of the few people that's going to generate a profit.
She's the only one, Bryan. And they hate on her.
No, I think I could have sworn I saw her wearing a T-shirt.
Did you see Shaq?
She wasn't at the meeting. Like when
Shaq,
all of them came together.
But during practice or warm-ups.
Oh, I'm sure they have to wear it. She's not going to not wear it, but she wasn't at the meeting where they're all talking about it.
The other woke bitches. Now that's dicey. Imagine hating women that much for just doing normal career things that normal people do. But the internet is mean to girls. I take solace in knowing he's as miserable inside of that head, which protects that tiny brain, as humanly possible. The CTE is gonna do wonders on this dumb fuck. And oh wow, Chin can Google shit, while Bryan Callen's kind of getting lippy. That's too much credit given. The only Googling Chin does is mental Googles. You know, hearing informed people talk about this very topic that they discussed, and then listening to these two idiots blabbering about the little bit they seen gives me a headache. Schaub literally read one hot take and decided it was his too. The WNBA just aren't business and marketing sharks like him. And that's the crazy thing is I seen the takes he steals. And what they actually said was to divide the 40 million up by the active players, and it was them owing $260,000. You're an idiot, Papa. But at least he's a numbers guy, which proves again Brendan Schaub can't even steal something without fucking it up, because his name is Thiefer Sutherland. These morons speak so confidently about shit they don't know about so much. It's infuriating. That's the average mediocre dude online. Everyone is a critic and an expert on everything. You know, I personally think that Brendan has so much hate for these women because they had a way more successful professional athletic career than he did. Why? Because Brendan Schaub is insecure about his beast of athletic genetics bestowed to him via Papa Schaub, that he has to talk shit about people who aren't athletes like himself. He used to always talk shit to Chappelle because he was a cheerleader. National college champion, by the way, and skateboarded. Schaub lost to bag flips in a foot race and made excuses. He told DiStefano to his face he's not a real athlete because he played D3 basketball, while of course Chris holds school records. Schaub was on a podcast and told another guest he's not really an athlete because he played 7 years in the minor leagues as a catcher, so it doesn't count. Don't count. Can't talk. Oh, and remember The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, not an athlete, because WWE wrestling is fake. Don't count either. But Dwayne Johnson's a big fan of the Big Brown, because Baba's a funny guy that kicks ass too much. Brendan Schaub's producer Chin better watch out, because he's going to have neck braces on his arms and legs next episode if he keeps correcting Schaub's misinformation. And here's the final take and a clip that I want to share with you because I think it's pretty funny. Being an LA native myself, sometimes liars can spew out some truths. I've never been to Austin, Texas, but I'm just assuming that the food is better in LA than it would be in Austin, only because of all the diversity. And when you have a lot of diversity, you're going to have a lot of great food and plenty of options. So is it possible that Brendan Schaub might be telling one truth? I'm not sure. Here is Bappa admitting that the food in Austin is ass compared to the food in Los Angeles. Oh, I can't wait.
Ate Italian food in Florence and in Rome. Ate Italian food all over Italy. You know where I can get good Italian food, Bubba?
LA.
Yeah. And in Austin, if I have to.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's the one thing
Let me back up.
Yeah.
I haven't had that yet. I haven't had.
We both love Austin. We love Austin.
Came a little hot. Came in a little hot.
Came a little hot. We love Austin.
Yeah.
My number one complaint is the food scene can't touch LA here. Especially where I'm at. If I Uber Eats, like I found okay.
I didn't want to say it out loud.
That's all good.
Yeah.
I'm choosing the quality of life of my kids and my sanity over food and danger in LA. You can't even sniff LA food here.
I'm not going to say.
You go, what about the barbecue? I can't eat barbecue fucking 7 nights a week.
No.
Yes, the barbecue's great here.
Yeah.
But as far as general meals, they can't touch LA.
I'm not going to say.
Hey, it's all good.
It's all good. Yeah.
So basically, in short, according to Brendan, everything in Austin sucks. It's not comparable to LA, but he still loves Austin water. But of course, we know that Brendan is choosing the safety of his family over their quality of life and food preferences. Brendan, you live in the suburbs in an HOA bubble where only a certain demographic afraid of diversity lives. And you're surprised you can't just Uber Eats good food? You can't have it both ways, Papa. Maybe Brendan and his wife, girlfriend, should try visiting a grocery store and buying food and making whatever meals they want to in the chef's kitchen in their McMansion. And from what I know, from good Austin residents that know shit, 100% Austin has good food. But if you're out in the suburbs like Schaub, it's not going to be the best. People expecting good stuff in the burbs are hilarious because that's where culture goes to die, you dingo. Mandingo. And from what I hear, Schaub, you don't even live in Austin. You're like way out by Travis. Even people that lived in Austin for just a couple of years or so, they even say that the food fucking rules. So I don't know what the hell this guy's even talking about. Oh, that's right. He's a moron. And Brendan, can you stop interrupting? It's genuinely in the top 500 reasons why you, Brendan, are extremely unlikable. So can you let poor Bryan finish a goddamn sentence? And some word of advice to you, Schaub, maybe you should just step outside your comfort zone of Uber Eats and actually go find some good food. Because yes, it does exist in Austin, Texas. Anyhow, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate it so much. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. There are still some of you that haven't subscribed yet, so make sure you check and see if you're subscribed. I appreciate that. Also, hit that like button on this video and share it out if you can to others who might enjoy comedy podcasts and stuff like that. Anyhow, I'll see all of you in the next video.
Like, but the Balenciaga one, Jesus Christ.